I'm back at it again. It's been a few weeks since I've been over here, but we're here. So we got to keep on going. So I got to get back to trying to fight this tie rod out of here. And I got to do the other side. And then we're set up to take the springs out. So I'm going to work on banging these out and then we'll go from there. But the goal is to have this whole front end suspension disassembled today. So let's see what happens. One tap, heated it up. One tap, look at that. I mean, come on, you know. That ain't the best start to a day, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Godly. First things first, let's get this assembly apart. I do have someone come and help me today, guy down the street. Super knowledgeable with this stuff, and somehow he's, I believe, tied into this, owning this truck or some sort of thing. So I'm almost positive he either owned it, he was the first owner, or something along those lines. So it's pretty cool to come full circle, work with him on a little bit. But this guy coming down to help me knows everything there is to know about these trucks from backside to side. So let's get the capsule nut off and the cotter pin, and then we'll go from there. Trying to get this front end apart.
Where's that? What, you trying to take a ball joint loose?
Yeah. I got my tie rod off that side pretty easy.
Nah, where's your, you got a sledgehammer? There it is, right there.
Yeah, I heated up that side because these are.
What are you trying to get these out?
Yeah.
Right here. What?
Boom.
I miss this, man.
You can come down and help whenever you want, man. I'm learning on the fly. of talking there. I'm gonna end the time lapse in that anyway. Or coming out of the time lapse is what I should say. That dude is, I skipped a lot of the talking, but that dude is so knowledgeable when it comes to stuff. I mean, you've seen the time lapse. He blew these springs out, pulled this whole thing apart in 15 minutes. Really. I mean, it was super fast. So that guy just knows everything there is to know about this. He's just a massive help. He's owner of this truck, and he's done a ton of stuff with this. So he knows what he's talking about. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just start to assemble some of the stuff, I guess. I painted this black just to kind of hold it over for now, but I'm gonna put this on, the upper A arms on, and then go from there. So I'm super excited. That was really fast. It was a lot faster than I anticipated. So he's gonna end up helping me out with a lot more stuff in the future. So you'll see him on the videos more often. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna have to reuse these. I don't know if we're gonna reuse these nuts here, but looks like we have to reuse the U-bolts. So I'm just gonna spray them brake clean, get them cleaned up, and then spray them black so that they match, and then we'll use them. First order of business though, clean them up. Gotta get some more brake clean. There we go. Fresh can of brake clean. Just cleaning them up, dude. All right, catch up to speed. What I did was cleaned up this area where the U-bolts are gonna go for the lower control arms. Clean up the bolts. I have the U-bolts outside drying at the moment. I'm going to attempt to put these arms in, kind of heavy and they're kind of awkward. So I'm gonna try to put them in place here on either side. Because once they're bolted in and done, at least the upper and lower arms are on, and then it really comes down to putting the spindles in, springs, and the struts for up front. I am going to get new tie rods just because these ones are rough, and they could just be they're at the end of their lifespan. Let's just call it what it is. So we're going to switch all that out, and then from there the front end is pretty much done in terms of suspension. Once I have this new pitman arm and these new tie rods, I mean, the pitman arm's not in terrible shape. We'll see how it looks once I pull everything else apart. So right now my focus is trying to get each side of these things put back together, or put upper and lower arms in, so I can then work through here and get the necessary parts to get that done. So let's see how this works out. I gotta, for those who don't know, so it's kind of hard to see it here, but there's kind of a dimple here that goes on either side of this arm. That dimple actually sits. There's actually a spot on each side of the control arm where that actually sits. So I have to be able to spin this so that I can get that kind of facing upward so that I can bolt this down. which isn't super simple here. It's not going to be easy because it is heavy and it is awkward. Get a quick paint job on the U-bolts. Get them half decent. U-bolt on the other side. Bolts on the other side. Okay, let's give this a shot. There we go. Make a slight adjustment. Let's see if I can. Okay, I gotta turn this just ever so slightly back to the bus. Good news. I got it in. Now I got to adjust correctly because right where it mounts, so it's kind of hard to tell, but right in here there's an actual dimple. See this? There's a rivet up here that has a dimple there, and there's a marking. There's a spot on the arm, so I have to kind of swing that up and get that dimple lined up, and then I can tighten the rest of the way. So I'm gonna try and work on that now. It's kind of hard when it's just awkward. It's awkward and slightly heavy, so it's just a little tough, but we'll get it. We'll get it. There we go. Now we're in there. Yep, now we're good. Perfect. Got rid of that gap that was there. So now we're in business. Cool. See, the thing about that dimple is so important because that assesses your geometry of this setup in correlation to here. So if your geometry is off, like if that dimple is not in place, then this is not sitting correctly. So when you go to tie everything else in, it'll just be, you'll notice when driving, everything's just kind of off. And we're good. Nice, perfect. Operates as it should, up and down. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, upper and lower arms are on. This tie rod, I don't know that I'll be able to move it now that I did that. Alright, I'll put the new one in, I can just slot it in up through there. Anyway, alright, we're good there. Alright, next order of business is technically this box back here. Do the time lapse, obviously upper lower arms are now on. We're good to go there. I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the spindles, get the spindles mounted on the bottom here. Where are we going on the top? You need to mount the spindle regardless because you can't put the spring in without that. The spring will just push that arm down. So we'll get that mounted up here, and then it should be good to go. I just got to get new tie rods, and then new equipment arm, and we'll get the rest of this buttoned up and done. So let's get her done. This is where we're going to stop, so I'll get the rest of the parts, and then next time we're here, we'll put the rest of this front end together, put the brakes back on, and put this back on its own feet so we can go to the rear end. Do rear sway bars, the flip kit, the whole nine, relocate the shocks, and then Melvin, who was here helping me take care of this front end, is going to help me take care of doing the rear gear and all that fun stuff. So it's crazy to think though, like once this is done and back on its feet, and then we do the rear end, it's time for transmission and motor to get worked on. So, and while that's being worked on, I'll start sourcing pieces. I got ahead of myself. Once the rear end's done, and we'll be back on all fours, so we can do the brakes on the truck. And then once the brakes are done, and we're back on all fours with fresh brakes, you know, everything brand new that is in rough shape. Then we'll go to the powertrain. So sorry, jumped a step ahead. Shouldn't have. My bad. But if this is the end of the video, made good progress today. So like, subscribe, share. Goes a long way for me. Like I said, I'm trying to build a following here. For those of you who like the diesel content, like us going to truck shows and stuff. First truck show is next month in Makunji. So we're going to be going there. So I'll do a ton of filming there, a ton of the trucks there. It's an antique show, but there's a lot of nice stuff there. So, and it's the biggest show of the year for us. So we're going to go next month. So if you are into that, there's going to be a video towards the end of June. Father's Day weekend is the truck show. So we'll be there. And then at the end of June, I'll begin to roll out kind of some videos with that, some stuff, YouTube shorts, some stuff on my TikTok, and then we'll continue with this content as well. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.